You're listening to Anibros episode number 66. Today on the show, the bros press Patrick 1.0 into service after a lengthy absence and turn him loose on the strangely acclaimed battle programmer Shirase. So pull out your flip phone and get ready to SSH into your PC because the Anibros are coming up next. All right, guys, roll call. Jack?
Here.
Patrick?
Here.
Oh, and I'm Laven. I'm here. Okay. All right, let's get started. Welcome to Anibros. We're the bros.
We are.
As usual, follow us on Twitter at Anibros Podcast. At Anibros Podcast. Like us on Facebook and visit our website at anibrospodcast.com. Well, guys, what are we up to today?
Well, we just drove up here and we're sitting here. I don't know why you don't just look over and see what we're doing. Why do you got to ask us this question?
He can't.
These guys are in my house. I thought we were Googling this whole time. Weird. Okay, well, yeah. Today, the P. Rizzler himself has graced us with his presence.
Boom. Special guest.
He swung by old Jack's house and kidnapped him and brought him up to Portland.
My truck's in the shop.
Mm-hmm. So. That wasn't free, by the way, Jack. I expect a little money for the gas and such.
Monetary compensation or other compensation yet to be determined.
I'll give you $10.
Sexual.
For not having one. Yeah, so...
I'll let you look at my swimsuit.
I think he'd be very into that. All right. Well, they came over and we started watching something. But...
We did.
Before that, we have the customary... What have you guys been watching? Let's start with Patrick. Have you been watching anything on your own time?
Yeah, I've been watching Suits. Their new season came out. Just finished up.
Now that's
Game
on the
of
USA
Thrones.
Network, as I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as good as White Collar, which, isn't saying much. But, it's there. But, good old Game of Thrones. Some people died on that, so that was good.
Oh, yeah? Are you caught up with that?
Yeah, I just finished it up. As far as anime goes, let me think. Oh, a couple months ago, I watched this one. There's this feller, and he was a demon lord or something, and he was in an alternate world, and then he got into our world, and he and his buddy, they were doing some magic stuff, and they were working at McDonald's. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do? What was it? What's the show?
Oh, okay. You look at me, Laven.
This is a real show.
The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching that, and I thought, it was all right. And it was certainly better than any of the other animes I've seen in a long time.
I made it about halfway through there.
Yeah, anime kind of is terrible in general, so yeah, that was all right, I guess. Then I watched one that was kind of about that Aladdin boy and Alibaba. Yeah, I got through about one episode of that.
Yeah.
Are you starting to lose your faith in the capacity of Japan?
Starting to lose.
to make an anime that you enjoy watching?
Sometimes you just got to bring someone on the Anibros to say, look, guys, this is all terrible, and you should, move on to something better.
We've been getting some emails that are requesting a dissenting opinion. So.
Someone going on being like, you should talk more about My Little Pony. I think that's where the kids are at these days.
Yeah. I mean, just that mention right there is probably going to boost this episode.
What exactly is your target audience with this podcast? Like, age, gender, region. Like, what is your demographic?
I think people who follow Willis's blog probably like us.
Yeah.
What is your target audience, though?
What do you mean, my target audience?
Supermodels between the age of 18 and 30, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah, you want like our demographic, like our...
Yeah. Who is this aimed at?
Probably females aged 8 to 11, I think is our target range.
Uh-huh.
we've been.
So we should talk more about like various hair braids and the new Barbie dolls.
Well, no, we
got to
try to get him to like the
How to
stuff
make
we
your older
want
brother
them to
happy.
like. That way, they become more appealing to us. Like I don't
think
the problem.
someone would be more appealing to me if they suddenly like these anime shows more.
Well, that's why you're not a regular guest.
All right, what have you two watched in the last week? Probably 50 anime, I'm guessing, knowing you two schmucks.
I've been just watching Hyoka. I'm
What's
not done
that?
with it yet. What is that? It's
Yeah.
your favorite show. It's about a guy who can't be bothered to lift a
Oh,
finger.
the lazy chump.
Yeah, it's lazy.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're thinking we're going to make a new anime, should we make the main character someone who likes doing things and is super cool, or should we make him the laziest schmuck who just doesn't do anything all day?
That one, yes.
That's not the one you go with.
That's what I say. I've been complaining about that for the entire time I've been watching the show. Everyone else is like, oh, this is pretty good.
You know?
But I'm like, yeah, okay, the animation, it's pretty good. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm really sick of this main character and his apathy toward everything that's going on around him.
He's willing to breathe. You got to give him that. Most people
Barely.
wouldn't.
If he was able to not breathe, he would figure out a way to do that.
You just like sit there and I don't know, a big pool of plasma like energy, and then he could just kind of lay there all day long, never moving. I mean, that's everyone's dream, right?
I just want an ordinary high school life.
Patrick, I know that you don't like a lot of things, but even you would probably be willing to do something presented with a collection of random weird people that were like wanting you to go on a mystery and you were the only person that could probably solve it for them. Would you be like, all right, yeah, that sounds like fun? Or would you be like, these people, I swear to God, I'm going to leave? Which attitude would you
I'd
probably
probably say, yeah, let's do something. Because in general, I prefer something over nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, out of like, let's just sit here quietly in the middle of the floor not talking, I probably would not be for that.
That's what I think.
So, yeah.
This is the same problem I had with the character from Robotics Notes. He was not willing...
Which one? The main
The
character?
main character. He just
Yeah,
wanted
he
to
was
sit.
also a lazy schmuck.
He just wanted to do nothing. Like, there's like girls wanting to build robots around him. He's like, I don't think that's very
a girl.
interesting.
There was a girl.
There was a girl. There was a girl who wanted to build robots, just
Yeah.
heckling him like, come on, like we have the technology to build the big robot right here.
Well, they did not have the technology
they
or
had
the
a
money.
wrench, and they had a computer.
They had some monopoled magnets falling from the sky,
That's
which was
technology.
never explained.
That's technology,
and
Patrick.
somehow the old Japanese man said, we can use these to build an engine. And you were like, oh, I guess that's a plot point.
That is definitely a plot point. The point being, I think I would choose build a robot. Especially if someone was like, hey, look, I have most of a robot here. You want to help me finish it? Rather than, no, I'd rather play this video game.
Yeah, he had a Game Boy.
He had a Game Boy that he played all day.
Yeah.
No one cares about
And
that.
somehow that factored into stuff.
Lo and behold, what do you know? Playing the Game Boy saved the day.
All right. You watch anything other than
No.
Haruhi?
Haruhi. Haru Yoka? No, I did not.
All right, Jack. Come on. You watched, what, 20, 30 anime last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
As
don't work
usual.
very hard. Or what'd you
Hey.
see?
I've been watching Ping Pong. It's a new
Is that a joke or like a racist joke? Or is that
Racist joke.
a ping pong on the
ping
show?
pong.
That's
It's ping pong.
anime, right?
Is that what we're calling them now? We're calling those
There's
ping
some guys
pongs?
in the break room
I
playing
mean,
ping
what
pong.
are you going to say next? I saw a vending machine. That's kind of Japanesey, right?
I was watching
All right. In ping pong, do they play ping pong? I mean,
No.
no?
it's just about high school ping pong teams.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a sports anime, and apparently, like, ping pong
Is
is
that
like,
a sport?
yeah. You know, it's up there with baseball and basketball team.
Well,
They got the ping pong team.
I mean, that's like a sport someone who didn't want to use any energy whatsoever could play.
Oh,
Ergo,
they
anime.
use a lot of energy. Like, they blow out their knees and, like, really go at it. I'm not joking. This is intense. It's
Have you ever seen the movie Balls of Fury when they're like playing over $5.
Dodgeball,
They're
right?
like just
No. There's Balls of Fury.
Balls of Fury.
It's a live action movie that
it's about ping pong, and it's just making fun of it mercilessly.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you should watch that instead of ping pong.
maybe not instead of, maybe supplement your viewing with it.
It's got Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
in
Christopher
it.
Walken.
Greatest anime character who ever
He says the word
I
ping
know
pong
what-
pretty funny.
I know what movie you're talking about. Yeah, the kind of newer one.
Yeah.
It came out probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, that's, I went to the movie theater probably 10 years ago.
So why do you keep watching that anime?
Well, most of the time I don't really like sports anime, but this one
Yeah.
I really like how it's told because it kind of doesn't focus on like one guy who's like the coolest ping pong player and he's just defeating everybody.
Yeah.
It kind of focuses on like 4 or so different schools and 4 or so different players, and they all have like their strengths and weaknesses.
Does it ever come to a point where you're like, I just don't care who wins?
No, it's pretty exciting.
Who are you rooting for?
It's so hard to choose who to root for because they all have so much on the line and so many different things.
How many
Jack,
episodes is this?
do you actually care? Come on, who you rooting for?
You gotta watch ping pong.
How many
It's
episodes?
hard to see who to root for. It's on like episode 11 or something now.
How many is it going to be, though?
I don't know.
It's going to be a 90
you haven't
part
heard, like-
episode, Episode 90, they go to regionals, and then they go to nationals, and then super nationals.
Is it based from anything like a manga or anything?
Yeah, it's based on a manga. It's kind of an older manga.
Is the manga still going on? How about that?
No, I don't think so.
Is one of the ping
All right, so it
pong
does
balls poisoned, and they knock it into someone's mouth, and it's like Murder on the Orient Express?
That would be the best
If
show
not,
ever.
then I'm not going to watch this. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before. All right. Other than that terrible thing, what have you been watching?
Another show called Meikaku City Actors.
Yeah.
It's based on like a concept album, so it's kind of like a rock opera, except in anime. But it's an album, and then they made a bunch of music videos of it. So they just made an anime of that. It's kind of cool. The art style is really weird. It's by the same. It's by Shaft. And
What are you talking about? Like the words out of your mouth. What do they mean?
What? This is mostly foreign, like jargon that he doesn't understand what he's saying.
All right. Do you know what a concept album is?
Is it like the Daft Punk album that they made the little anime to with the blue people and they come to Earth and they're forced to sing and
Probably
dance
technically a concept
and-
album. It was different than their
Yeah.
other albums, so yeah, that
And
counts.
it's all kind of connected, sort of, maybe.
It doesn't have to be
they
a
write
story.
They write a whole musical album where each song is connected and it just makes a story.
Isn't it all in Japanese?
Yeah.
And isn't it like an hour or a couple hours long, maybe?
I don't know how long it is, but instead of just songs,
It just keeps going.
it does.
We're on hour 30, and they're like, just keep cranking it out. People are watching this stuff. Is this kind of like, who was was it R. Kelly who came out with his 9-piece I'm Trapped in a Closet
Yeah,
song?
something like
Yeah,
that.
is it like that, but
Yeah, or-
animated?
Yeah, or like Tommy by The Who, or like The Wall by Pink Floyd. you
Another
know?
brick in the wall.
Yeah.
That's a piece of it.
So what's the song about?
It's kind of a complicated story. That's kind of the bad part. It's like some
Yeah.
kids are in a gang and they have superpowers that are related to their eyes.
What?
And then like a long time ago, like some demon created like a nether world that it's sucking people into, or like
Yeah, pretty catchy song, huh?
yeah.
What's the chorus?
And the whole album, actual album is by a Vocaloid, like Hatsune Miku, like
No.
just the
No, I
computer
don't
robot
know.
singing. You know her.
You know the green-haired
You
girl
went to
that you
high
see?
school with her.
She was in our class, Patrick. She was an exchange student.
She worked at Domino's. Remember
Why are you so
after school?
racist?
You go online and you click in something and it comes back and it's like, hello, how are you today?
Yeah,
That's
that's-
basically who's singing this thing?
Yeah, except you set the pitches too, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
Okay, you just said Daft Punk. It's the same kind of thing, except for like just a generic.
No, this is literally a computer. There's no human singing it at all.
Oh.
You just
well,
program it to say words.
there you go. There you go, I guess. So yeah, keep watching that. What was it called?
Meikaku City Actors.
Yeah, that sounds like a show. So is that what we watched this past week?
Yes, that's
All
what I
right,
watched.
then.
Unless you're counting today.
Let's get rid of that section. All right. What's up next on
All right,
Bros?
Our main event, why we're gathered here today. Well, we just invented why we were gathered here today a few hours ago to watch a show that I had never heard of.
Jack, you were the one who had it, right?
Yeah, he brought it, and it's pretty funny.
Well,
I think it's hilarious.
well,
Patrick's opinion doesn't really count.
I was
because
pretty
he thinks
drunk,
everything
and
is the
I was
worst.
not enjoying it that much.
He doesn't enjoy. He was having a. I looked in his eyes. He loved making fun of that show. He was having a time just making jokes.
Is that like a reason?
But then after the episode was over, he's like, "No more jokes. It's over. I hated it." And I'm like, Patrick, it was so funny. We could watch another one. No, but the jokes were so good. No. All right. I guess we're done.
All right. Yeah, I guess it was.
So as a disclaimer, we don't know how
maybe
it
it
ended.
was the greatest anime ever. Who
The
knows?
last 3 episodes could possibly just turn the series right around, and it could be a masterpiece. Like,
So
Lane
if
or Evangelion.
anyone out there listening, if you got some friends, open a few brewskis and you can watch this and make fun of it. I guess that's the only redeeming value it has, huh? Well, I shouldn't be giving me my review of it yet.
well,
we gotta wait till the
why
end.
don't we just go into that? How about what's the title of this show?
What is the title?
Battle Programmer Shirase.
All right, Battle Programmer Shirase.
BPS.
BPS.
Was that it? That's important. To keep.
It's pretty important. You got to know the acronym.
Is his name Shirase? Or-
Probably. I think that's just his handle. He just creates 3 words to be his username for some stupid reason.
He's a battle programmer.
Yeah, that is his name.
All right, Patrick, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the show's about?
Okay, let's see. Main character, he's a lazy schlob who doesn't do anything and just kind of lays on the floor for the first minute you see him, and he tries to like drag himself over slowly to look up some elementary school girls.
That's a good point.
Underskirts.
Have you ever seen him standing in the first 2 episodes? I think he's always been sitting. Either
let's
or
see.
laying down on the
He
floor.
was-
He got out of the car.
He was slouching.
Did he get out of the car or was he sitting in the seat the whole time?
No, he got out of the car at some point, right?
No,
And-
that's what I'm asking. I
well,
don't think he did.
he was on the bench.
And they were
sitting.
Yeah, and well, there must have been a period. I mean, they didn't show us. But
I don't think he's ever walked anywhere that we've seen. He's just been sitting in a terminal or laying on the ground or in a car
I'm sure there was a point.
or
he
at the
was-
restaurant eating his noodles and also typing away.
Yeah,
When was he ever walking around?
yeah. So he's kind of a lazy person who doesn't do anything. So I'm not sure why he's the main character.
because
He's
he's the
battle
greatest
programmer.
programmer in the world,
He can program in any language.
including like physical world, like just physics.
And by programming, I mean he has just terminals open. He's running commands. He's not really programming anything.
All right. So I think the show opens in America, Seattle to be exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a shipping company. What was it called?
BHL.
DHL.
It was BHL.
Not to be
confused.
with DHL, of course. And he goes in and hacks into a computer, and of course, as any good hacker would do,
No,
you
the
would,
evil hacker.
you would have a little. What was the critter? Bunny that would go up slowly and change an Excel spreadsheet.
You know how people thought viruses looked like in the 90s? They would just sort of pop onto your screen and suck everything away. That's what happened.
So the fat American woman goes up to her fat American boss and says, "Oh, it's all messing up." And he's like, "Oh, come on now. Do you think you were imagining it?" And I'm like, I wouldn't tell someone that if they came up and said, "Someone just hacked into my computer," but I guess they did.
This is a pre 9/11 world.
And so DHL accidentally delivers like the world's most expensive supercomputer
Now-
to him.
Now, hold on. Is this a accident or was DHL doing their exact duty by putting whatever was on the form to the person?
And so there he is. I'm guessing, he's in Seattle.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And
Well,
he's-
hold on.
Or-
No,
no.
he was in Portland.
The evil programmer.
The evil programmer was in Portland.
He was in Portland, Oregon,
because
wasn't he?
it popped
Yeah.
up. It said that
His address.
yeah, he typed in his address. It was Portland.
Oh. Now
King
that was
America
something.
lives in Portland. That's
King
all everyone
America,
needs to
that
know.
was his name.
Yeah, and so he gets it and he starts hacking with it. What's the first thing he hacks into some company because they've stopped making their X68 architecture.
Computer.
No, what was it? Like extension cord.
No, he got paid in a SCSI card, but I think the guy was performing terrorism just because they stopped making the computer.
Yeah, that whole part I didn't know what was going on.
It wasn't
I don't
very
think they
important.
really focused on it
Yeah.
or cared about it.
They're just
So-
like, he's bad, we gotta get him, and
Yeah,
then they moved
basically.
on, and we're like,
So then they
but
go-
why exactly?
So then they go back to, and I believe he's Japanese because they say at some point he's going back to.
We
Japan.
thought he was American
Yeah.
at first, and we're like, wow, these American guys are exactly like the Japanese guys in every single way. But turns out he's like he's on like business exchange to the Japanese branch or the American branch from Japan.
What I enjoyed, every single character in America, fat as could be.
Yeah, they were not skinny or
Every single
attractive.
one, and I'm like, I guess that's Americans, all right?
That's what they think. At least that's what they thought a decade ago about us.
Yeah, you should look up when it was made.
2003.
2003. Oh,
I'm guessing
October
to the-
2003 to January 2004.
I guess 2004. I just want to. I think I won that,
I guess 2001 to 2002.
so I won.
You didn't. You went over.
No,
Well,
it's
that's
2003
okay.
and 4.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay. What do you mean both years?
Well,
it went
it
from
aired.
October to January.
Oh my word, that's a long time for a show this bad. Anywho,
Wait, hold on. Say the dates again.
October to January.
October. It's 5 episodes. How did it air that long?
Well, it's 15 12-minute episodes.
Still, that doesn't make any sense. Count the weeks from October to January.
those episodes
that's
were
15
15
weeks.
minutes.
Well,
They felt like a lot longer.
we probably had mashed together once. That it came on the DVD like that, but it aired 15 times. in
15
12
minutes. That's 2 per episode. So 10.
Why, you're just saying numbers now.
Anywho, back to the monotonous story. There's a lazy guy who's good at programming, and I guess that's all you need to know about him. And so the head of some company goes up to him and makes some spiel about you should help us out, and he's like, meh. But I guess he does, maybe. And so then at his house, there's some girl who calls him Oni-san, but isn't his sister. Or
He isn't his biological sister. For some
Yeah.
reason, he got taken in by their rich family or something.
Maybe.
That makes it all better. And legal.
Anywho, she's in elementary school, and he is
Oh, it's not legal, actually.
like,
He's going to college.
no, she wants him to go to college.
Yeah,
so
he's a
he's
Ronin.
college age.
No, he finally got in.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you complained about him being a Roman.
Yeah.
No, he just stopped being one, and he needs to study hard.
Oh, I didn't catch that at
I
all.
didn't catch that at all.
I thought she was
I think
complaining like
you're
you
a
need to
liar
go back
and
to
a cheat.
school.
No, I'm definitely right. He just got into college.
Anywho, so she goes over to his place occasionally and like chops food and cleans.
Yeah, she
and-
does her
Runs
sisterly
the
duty.
sink.
Yeah, it doesn't make like a lot of sense, but she's there, and you get the feeling he kind of has a thing for her. So
Yeah, you get the feeling when he tries to look up her
Yeah, I was gonna
graph.
say like that little feeling that you get is actually punctuated by the fact that he's just molesting her.
well, no,
No, not straight
it's
up,
just-
but
no,
he's
it's-
in usual.
I mean, maybe he's thinking about it, but no, okay. Anywho, so he's slowly drug off to help the company, but the company's headquarters just starts exploding, and smoke comes out.
That's not a metaphor. It's just blowing up,
It's
literally.
blowing up, and he and everyone else
Tanaka.
don't really seem to care. Well, at least he doesn't. And so he gets out this little flip phone, and he's like typing into it with all 5 fingers.
Yeah,
All right, now that is a texting machine.
and
he
not
go-
only are they moving at the speed of light, but they're just a blur. You don't even know what's happening, and just hex code is just flying across the screen.
So my understanding, he's controlling his computer at home.
Yeah, he like logged into his computer
which
from home.
is then hacking the main supercomputer back in Portland.
Yeah.
And it's starting to smoke. And then it blows up, and the main bad guy's like, no, well, I'll get you next time in the next episode, BSD, or whatever the guy's name was. And
It's open BSD.
so there's still smoke coming out of the headquarters. You got to assume people are dead.
Like a
and
terrorist attack,
millions
with
of dollars.
fire trucks.
Yeah, and he just starts walking off, and the guy's like, well, what about the terrorist and such? And like, man.
I don't care. It's not my problem. I beat him.
Oh, there was also a bit with the little girl she said something was occurring, and her father might not be able to come, and her mom was sewing, and she said something about ballet, and she was at a ballet class for a little bit, and then, yeah, that never showed up again ever.
It's just to show you about how bad Japanese dads are. They just never show up.
Yeah.
That's the end.
I think they just had some kind of like ratio of screen time that she had to be on the screen.
I
and
guess.
Since it wasn't a beach episode, they had to, find some kind of environment to show her.
She was completely worthless that whole episode.
It seemed like someone whoever wrote the episode had just taken a community college class in how to structure an episode, and they're like, make sure to throw in what the side characters are up to, and show them for 1 second. And he's like, okay, yeah, and he just did that by the letter, and then forgot about it.
She has more character than the main character. I mean, he just...
Yeah, we do know things about the sister more so.
So, episode 2...
Half of it was basically the same the first half.
This time, Hacker Guy is... Okay, let me see if I got this.
More confusing.
There was a ship with plutonium, and
it was rogue. It was running amok.
It was run amok because he hacked into some satellites or something, and so it's kind of beached sort of. And
Wait, no, that's not the one that has plutonium. The one that has plutonium was the one that was traveling that had the attack light come up.
No, the one that was beached had plutonium.
Well, then what was the other one doing?
The other one was stealing the plutonium.
Okay, so the oil tanker had plutonium?
Look, I don't know why they were spilling oil over the
this
side of the ship.
This is a big problem I have.
Okay.
This doesn't make any sense or have anything to do with anything. They're just the crew of the oil tanker is just pouring. They're wearing hazmat, full chemical suits, just pouring oil off the side of.
Okay, yeah, that didn't make any sense.
But why? They're not. They never mention it. They never even talk about it. But there are. It's definitely oil because they have the oil spill lines are surrounding the vessel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's containing the oil spill that they're creating.
That was a separate hazard just happening that the show didn't want to focus on. They're like, oh, they got in the shot. Okay, just
yeah. It's like they're animating it though. It's like they went to go get stock footage of an oil tanker, and it happens to be of one that's already beached and cleaning up a spill. And they're like, whatever, just don't worry about it.
It was originally going to be oil in the script, so the animators drew it in, and then they're like, no, change it to plutonium. They're like, I drew this. I'm not throwing it away.
Oil and plutonium cannot be interchangeable. They don't make any sense together. It doesn't matter.
We'll put it in the broadcast so you will still get paid. Okay.
Moral of the story: a ship is stuck. It has
stuck and has plutonium and oil. Both of those things is
something
carrying.
on it that's important. And the girl, her class just happens to be going on their summer beach trip to the island of Hokkaido.
Yeah, it's Hokkaido, but that doesn't make any sense.
It's two
doesn't
classes.
make much sense.
It looks exactly like Okinawa, except for it's Hokkaido.
It's an elementary school class and a
So
middle
they're
school
there,
class.
and I'm guessing Coast Guard or whatever the equivalent of that comes to
No, that's what I thought, but
Hacker
it's
Boy.
not the Maritime Self-Defense Force. It's just the Maritime Safety Division. Not even part of the military. Just a guy, he looks like a sea cruise captain. Just we need your help, famous hacker.
And it's actually the businessman from the previous.
I don't think that it is, but I didn't remember him being the same looking, but you guys seem to.
So, well, he looks the same.
I'm sure his character model is not that much different, but I don't think it's the same guy.
I'm sure it's not the same guy, but he looks exactly the same.
I thought it was.
Anywho, so Hacker Guy, he needs to save the day somehow. So he first hacks all the lighthouses to shine their light on. Okay,
Well, you gotta explain about this boat now. The second boat.
There's a boat, and it's coming to get the plutonium.
Because of King America.
And the hacker, there was another hacker that showed up. And
King America and his associate are trying to get the plutonium.
Anywho, long story short, he's got to stop a boat from getting to another boat.
Well, you got to explain why the boat is coming, because King America from the previous episode, who got thwarted with his attempts to, I forget what he's even up to.
Look, people, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay?
It does make sense. We didn't watch the rest of the show. It can make sense at the end.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
He first stops it by shining lights on it from three different lighthouses. And I'm not sure if that does anything. Anywho, then he's really worried about that girl because she's on
A test of
like
courage.
an island with some middle school boy, and he's kind of worried. And
Yeah, their horny like teacher decided they needed to hook up this girl with a middle school boy for no reason.
yeah. Anywho, so to help them, the main character overloads the power grid so that the high voltage power lines just snap right there and go over to the little island. Then he shuts the power off, and the boy grabs the high voltage power line, but it doesn't kill him, and he's able to pull himself back across.
You should say more than it doesn't kill him. It doesn't even, the electricity is not running through this wire anymore.
So
somehow they just stopped that one from having electricity.
So, kids, if you're in trouble, just grab onto the high voltage power line.
If you're in trouble,
drag your way back.
If you think, what could even happen to save my life in this situation, and then all of a sudden, the nearby power station blows up and a line flies at you, and you're like, I think I should grab this and swim to safety. I wouldn't do it.
Just grab it and jump in.
So yeah, that was pretty pointless. And then, how does he stop the ship?
He plugs in 6 keyboards at once.
Yeah, he orders 6 keyboards first of all, and the maritime safety division board officer says,
the woman comes,
get him out, Gretchen, bring out the cart of keyboards, and she does, and hooks them all in at the same time, and he gets fast at work cutting off the ends, soldering them to a PCB, and plugging them into the computer and saying, all right, each of these keyboards, that's its own separate window, and then just starts opening up a cascading window of a million and winning.
The more keywords you have, the faster you can type.
I remember now. He hacks into the 3 Russian satellites.
Not just one, but
and
3.
And they all start coming down.
They all start coming down. He crashes them. He crashes satellites from the Russian government into the Earth to stop a boat.
And so one of them hits the boat, massive explosion, but no one dies and everyone is saved. And then the teacher and the 2 kids, they see this just mass destruction, and the teacher looks over and sees the 2 kids holding hands, is like, all right, that's what I'm talking about, know what I'm saying? And then the episode ended, kind of, and yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense, so.
Not really.
Yeah. So I guess overall, animation was pretty bad. The plot, I think it was intentionally bad.
Yeah, I think it was too.
They had a laugh track at one point.
I'm pretty sure they were not taking themselves seriously. It was like the D team. It's like, you guys want to make this? Because we need like something to air from 4:45 in the morning to 5 o'clock. So if you guys can just come up with something real fast.
Yeah. So, and then I couldn't quite make it through any more episodes of that thing because it was getting on me, I think one more episode, it would have changed me, and I don't think I could have gone back to the old Patrick that smiled and frolicked and ran through fields of flowers, I would have just been very sullen and sad all the time, looking around, saying there's no joy left in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you should watch the anime. So, what rating are you going to give it, Laven?
I didn't hate it as much as you did.
No?
I thought it was hilarious.
You thought it was hilarious?
And I was willing to watch the entire thing.
Any particular joke you thought stood out as a real
joke,
humdinger?
It's not.
What about the boy in the telephone booth? I mean,
I thought that was a good joke.
Just a knee slapper.
You're laughing right now, Patrick. You're laughing right now, which indicates that it's hilarious.
I'll give you that. For no apparent reason, 2 episodes in a row, a boy trapped in the telephone booth shows up for 5 seconds and goes away.
It's not for no reason. The guy, whoever's discovering his like illicit thoughts, the programmer's illicit thoughts to his sister, is like just sees them in like a compromising situation and immediately starts thinking the worst, and then likens it to a boy being trapped in a phone
None
booth.
of that actually happens at all. That was my guess as to what happened.
That has to be what's happening, because he starts going on in his head like, what is this is so despicable. How could this be? And then like it while the character is thinking how bad this is, it just is panning in on like him.
Instead of saying something like, without tradition, you are like a fiddler on the roof. You're saying, this situation where the college boy is looking at the elementary school girl in her 7,000 yen school uniform, it's kind of like a boy trapped in a phone booth in the storm and he's crying, and let's go on to the next scene.
I think, because you should probably help him, but then immediately he says, I'm going to say nothing about this. And
you know what else was a funny joke is the Flintstone sound effects.
Yeah, it makes like a little running noise.
Kind of.
Yeah, the little whenever they're, and they like just get in their car, and then like it just fast pans over, and then they're already at the next place they need to go. It could be miles away, but they're just like, it makes a little cartoon noise, and they're there already. They're not taking themselves too seriously with this show.
Right, we'll give it a rating.
Let's give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh no, no. Oh, gosh. Jack, what are you giving it?
Just from those 2 episodes?
Yeah, just from those 2.
I can't give it a real rating until I know what's going on.
Don't leave it.
I'll go.
Just stop talking.
I'll go 3 then.
Oh, God.
Well, we all know Patrick is only brought onto this show in order to give 1 rating.
I'm gonna have to give it a 1 out of 10.
Oh, that's an upset.
I'm just
no
telling you,
one could have predicted
Look,
this.
I'm not saying I haven't seen I've Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Jesus, you talk about this show every time
10
as the standard
out
by which everything
of
should be
10,
compared.
Okay, this
Wasn't that?
was a 1 out of 10. People,
Was 10 times worse.
I'm just giving it to you straight up. It's like if there was nothing, the power went out. There was a snowstorm. This was the only thing you could watch. I would say turn off the TV and just sit there in the middle of the floor conserving energy. All right? Just be like the main character. Don't move. Don't watch it. And just, I don't know, sing songs to yourself or something.
No, that's too much energy. You can't do that.
You could sing the opening theme, Never Gonna Give You Up.
That was great. I will give it that. The opening theme song to this was like the Japanese version of that Rick Rolled song. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
And I like the ending theme.
What was the ending theme?
I don't know.
Just a song, just some
it's a hot
Japanese song.
tune.
Just some song.
It dropped on the top 40 back in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know the true end of
Luckily.
why he's the...
I don't know. Just go on
super hacker.
Wikipedia and read whatever the end
No, I'll
is.
probably just watch it.
Well, don't do that.
There's only 3 episodes left.
Yeah, just don't do that.
That's more than what you've already watched, though.
Yeah, but by 1 episode.
All right. Well, to whatever demographic is listening to this, don't watch that anime. I'm glad you listened to this podcast and were able to be convinced of not watching it.
That's 1 more off the list you don't need to watch.
We do the dirty work for you, so you don't have to.
Yeah, basically we tell you what you shouldn't watch, and then from process of elimination...
I think Patrick should make a blog called, like, What You Shouldn't Watch, and every week he just lists something. It doesn't actually matter what it is. It's just a show that he finds on Anime News Network. Like, this week I'm just going through the A's. I'm just going to put that one on this week.
Once again, terrible show.
1 out of 10, all right, don't watch that one. Until eventually he just listed every anime ever, and then he just changes the title from What You Shouldn't Watch to a list of all anime.
Yeah. Just edit Wikipedia. Do a title change.
We should do that where we go onto Wikipedia and put in some like for every single anime being like, oh, and by the way, anime ratings or some like real legit sounding thing gave this anime a 1 out of 10. And then if people ever went there, they'd see that every single anime was given a 1 out of 10.
Under the reception.
Full Metal Alchemist.
There's just yeah, that's a strange anomaly where it's like AnimeRatings.com seems to really love Full Metal Alchemist, but just really hate everything else.
Hey. That one with the boy who was a demon and he's on Earth and He's at McDonald's or whatever. I'd give that a 4 out of 10.
Did you watch all of it?
Yeah, I think so. There was this episode where he's like fighting someone. Is that the last episode?
I don't know. Yeah, I only made it like 6 in. I think like the Pope comes in and some demon guy with wings comes in.
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's like a he's like an upper level, maybe cardinal-ish guy who's helping
the
demon
Pope,
kid who then turns into some kid who just stays at home ordering things off Amazon.com. That's his character.
All right, I didn't make it that far.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
It's a good character.
I don't think that's episode 6.
He just has $100 million and he orders things off Amazon.
Yeah, he just orders things. There is an entire episode dedicated to a time he ordered a ton of stuff and they needed to go back and try to return it. Like that is the plot of the whole episode right there.
Wait, what show is this?
Demon
The Devil
Jack
is
in
a
the
Part-Timer.
Box. Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. It's full circle. It's the show you were trying to tell me about at the beginning.
You know, it's not a 1 out of 10 show is what I'm trying to get
It's
at.
a 2 out of 10. I see.
It's 4 out of 10.
That's 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Below average anime for you.
It's below, like, you know, watching it and saying like, oh, that's good enough, I recommend it to someone. But it's something that, you know, like if you run out of like good shows to watch B shows to watch, you know, you could watch that.
I think someone could write an academic paper trying to figure out the scale that Patrick uses to judge things. Because if you take everything he's ever watched and you put Full Metal Alchemist as 10 out of 10, and then you put this other show as 4 out of 10, and then everything else that exists as 1 out of 10, you got to try to find the similarities and the differences and try to scale it. And you're like, I don't get it. Like, how does he figure it out?
Yeah, you would think like, you know, just by definition, most animes would be average. So there must be like just a lot of
Patrick's average is 0 points. It's just like it all starts off being the worst thing possible, and it has to earn somehow with some arbitrary reasons that we can't quite.
So your rating
science can't define yet.
Your rating isn't just comparing animes; it's comparing like everything in life.
Yeah, it's just comparing like things that are enjoyable to do.
Okay.
You know, they start at 5 and go their way up. You know, and things you might say like, hey, you know, I went and saw this hiking trail and it was, you know, it was all right, I guess. And I'd be like, oh, 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I saw this anime and I don't know if I'd really recommend it, but, you know, if it's there, it's 4 out of 10.
It's
okay.
Worse than the hiking trail.
So your grading scale is just your experiences in general.
What's your?
I'm usually grading it against other anime that I've seen.
So basically, you're
not like against. I rode the bus today. That was an experience. I'm gonna have to give that a 4 out of 10.
It was my birthday today.
The exact same experience as watching this show about a hacker.
So whenever you see like an anime and all it is just a blank screen with absolutely nothing, you're like, well, I can't get it a 1 out of 10 because I'm comparing it to other anime. So I guess I'll give it a 3 out of 10. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's the logical solution to an anime podcast and a grading scheme. That's what I would think.
Oh, my word. You give something 10 out of 10 when you like it. You give something 1 out of 10 when you hate it.
Okay.
That's the scale.
All right, that makes sense. And then just figuring out how other things place.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
It's what's hard.
Give me a good anime, I'll give it a good rating.
What would you give Steins Gate?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
That's an 8 out of 10.
And I gotta say, the first episode was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Just god awful, didn't make any sense, terrible. And then about halfway through, it was all pretty bad. But then halfway through, that annoying girl started dying off. And from then on, the show just picked right up.
I'll have to agree with Patrick mostly on this. I didn't have as much intense hate in the beginning as he did, but it was the same. If you look at the graphs, they're similar.
And then that last episode, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It made the show just sing. I mean, it was as good as watching woodchucks doing their magic, you know.
They commit some magical occurrences all day.
It is. They really are nature's woodworkers.
They really are. I need to get one of them a tool belt.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of woodworking, any of you have any woodworking tools you want to endorse?
Well, I mean, I guess, Laban, do you have any woodworking tools here? You don't really have a shop, do you?
I don't have a shop here, no.
No.
I have been asked to read this copy, though.
You should get a...
Pete's Sandpaper, only the finest at Pete's.com. If you go to Pete's, you can save 20% on...
Just type Anime Bros
just type
the promo
Pete's.com /Anibros, our promotional code, and you can save up to 20% off. Sandpaper, rough, it's a good selection. Smooth, that's for finishing.
What did you guys make in high school wood class?
I made like a vase.
Out of wood?
In wood class?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't think I've ever heard of a wooden one. You think it would like swell up with the water and such?
Well, I didn't like put any water.
I didn't actually use it as a vase. It just looks like a vase. Come on.
Basically, I had a wood teacher who was kind of terrible and was there for 1 year and then was fired. And he was drinking his own moonshine during the final. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
He out of a flask, he just started drinking it, and he said, "It's my own special concoction to call it White Lightning." Okay, so just say that like me and my friend were the only ones doing anything would not be an understatement. And we got some wood, glued it together, put it on the lathe, started making vases, and then we started drilling holes out of the center. And that was about the end of the story, the vases.
That sounds like a real typical woodshop experience. It is always the goof around class. Yeah. What about you, Layden? What did you make in woodshop?
I didn't take wood shop.
You took metal.
I took metal shop.
Metals. What did you take in there?
What did you do in there?
Oh man, I made all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it was welding random crap together.
Yeah.
Tell us the good thing.
I made a stool. It's sitting right over there.
Where?
Is that one right over there?
With the computer on it?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I made that.
Actually, yeah, that looks like something you could buy down at the Five and Dime for like $10.
Yeah. I made that. I made a screwdriver. It is functional. I had to hammer it out on an anvil and everything, and then lathe out the plastic.
You know, a couple more terms, you would have been making samurai swords.
I could have. I did a bunch of stuff actually in that class, and then I stopped because it just...
Because you lit yourself on fire, right?
I did light myself on fire.
That's a good reason to quit.
Yeah.
I guess that's when our lives just took a turn for the worse. And we started watching anime.
Yeah. I used to make wood stuff back in Cub Scouts, I guess. Pinewood Derby cars.
All right. Well, I think we've ran out of things to talk about 5 minutes ago. Well, everyone, this was Patrick Mason coming to you live. We came with Laban, we came with Jack. We had a good time. Good luck, good night, good anime viewing. The Anibros was brought to you by
Pete. Save 20% off or more with your fine, rough, extra rough, and holy shit, that's too rough sandpaper lines. Buy it today.